Okay, here we've got a sequences, or I guess a series question really, and it's asking for four different things: the general term, the 11th term, Sn, and S11. So let's talk about what those are and how we approach these questions. They can ask sequences and series questions in a bunch of different ways, but there's really only four formulas basically that we need to know, and that is how to find the term and then how to find the sum of a particular amount of terms. Those two formulas differ slightly whether it is an arithmetic sequence or series or a geometric sequence or series. So that's the first thing we need to find out. So as a quick reminder, an arithmetic I think of as addition or subtraction. So we're adding or subtracting something similar to one term to get to the next, versus a geometric sequence, we are multiplying. So multiplying to the first term some value r to get to the second term, and so on. So how do we figure out if we're just given the sequence here, root 8 plus 2 plus root 2 plus 1, and so on, if that's arithmetic or geometric? Well, let's test if it's arithmetic. If it is arithmetic, then the second term minus the first term has to be the same as the third term minus the second term. So 2 minus root 8 would have to equal root 2 minus 2. In other words, going from root 8 to 2 must be the same as going from 2 to root 2. So let's check that out. 2 minus root 8 you could do in your calculator, as well as root 2 minus 2, and you would see that these are not equal. Therefore, it cannot be an arithmetic sequence. Now, if we probably know it's a geometric sequence at this point, or series I should say, because they wouldn't put it on the test otherwise, but just to verify, we do need to know what the common ratio is of a geometric series. And all that means is, what are you multiplying to term 1 to get to term 2, and so on. So to figure that out, since we're multiplying something, we're going to multiply r to root 8 to give 2. All we need to do is divide. So r equals the second term divided by the first term. And this is a common formula. So r equals u2, or term 2, divided by u1. And if we get this into a nice form where we don't need a calculator, we know that root 8 is 2 root 2. Those cancel, so we get 1 over root 2 is the common ratio. So in other words, we're multiplying each term by 1 over root 2 to get to the next term. Okay, so the first thing we need to know that we're asked for is the general term. So the formula for the general term, that just means un, so the nth term, equals u1, and this is a geometric, times r to the n minus 1. So, what do we know from this? Well, we don't know un, that's what we're asked to give. u1 is root 8, that's the first term, times r, which is 1 over root 2, to the n minus 1. So this is a formula for the general term. So when they ask for general term, you're generally required to find the first term if it's not given to you, and find r, and then we just leave n as n. Great. Now we're asked for the 11th term. Let's do that in purple. So the 11th term is just using this exact general formula, but plugging in 11 for n, because we want the 11th term, not just a general term. So it's root 8 times 1 over root 2 to the 11 minus 1, which equals root 8 over root 2 to the 10. And you can either punch that in your calculator, or we would know that that's like 5 2's on the bottom. So it's root 8 over 32. Okay, so that's the 11th term. Then we're asked for, I'm just going to erase here, we're asked for Sn, S sub n. So what that means is, that's kind of a general form for the sum of n terms, the sum of the first n terms. Because we know this is a geometric series, we can follow the formula, which is Sn equals u1. So we start with the first term times 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. It may seem like I'm putting out a lot of formulas here, but really there's only 4 for this whole unit that we need to know, so we should be able to memorize them. So again, just because we're looking for the general form here, all we need to plug in is u1 and r. u1 we know is root 8 times 1 minus 1 over root 2 to the n over 1 minus 1 over root 2. So that is, a general form for the sum of the first n terms. So if we wanted the sum of the first 100 terms, we would literally just plug in 100 for n here. And our last question is that's what they want us to do, but the sum of the first 11 terms, that's what S11 means. So we will just plug that in, 1 minus 1 over root 2 to the 11 over 1 minus 1 over root 2. And you can punch that right in your calculator and get the value. So first things first is figure out whether it's arithmetic or geometric. If it's arithmetic, you'll be able to do u2 minus u1, and that constant difference will stay between every term. If it's geometric, you do u2 divided by u1 to make sure that holds. Then we just use our geometric or arithmetic formulas for both the general term and the general form of the sum of the first n terms. And then it's just plug and play. Hopefully this is helpful. We'll see you for the next Sequences in Series video.